My parents didn't hit me. They didn't lock me in a room. They did something far worse. They told the world I was mentally unstable. My name is Ethan Miller. And this is how my own family tried to erase me quietly. It started after I quit my father's company. To him, leaving was betrayal. To my mother, it was embarrassment. To them both, it was a chance to rewrite who I was. They didn't say I was lazy. They didn't say I was ungrateful. They said I was unstable. At first, it was whispers. Ethan's not well lately. He's confused. We're worried about his mental state. I laughed it off. Big mistake. Soon, friends stopped calling. Business contacts avoided eye contact. Even relatives spoke to me slowly, carefully. Like I might break. One day I overheard my aunt say, "Poor Ethan. His parents are doing their best to bury me alive." My father was powerful, a respected executive. When he spoke, people listened. And when he said I wasn't well, no one questioned it. Why would they? The worst part? I started doubting myself. Maybe I was unstable. Maybe walking away from comfort meant something was wrong with me. Maybe silence meant guilt. That's how gaslighting works. It doesn't scream, it seeps. Then came the emails. My name quietly removed from boards. Invitations lost. Opportunities suddenly unavailable. No explanation. Just smiles and sympathy. I confronted my parents. My father didn't deny it. He leaned back in his chair and said calmly, "We're protecting you, Ethan. People don't understand you right now. Protecting me by destroying me." That night, I made a decision. If they wanted to paint me as broken, I would let them, because broken people don't threaten power, and that gave me time. I disappeared. No social media, no explanations, no arguments. I worked in silence while they spoke in lies. Months passed. They grew comfortable, confident, certain the story was set. They had no idea. The stage was being built, and my name was about to be called. When people believe you're unstable, they stop watching you. That was my advantage. I let my parents talk. I let rumors grow. I let doors close. And behind all that noise, I built something real. I moved to a small city where no one knew my last name. No Miller legacy. No expectations. Just me. I slept on a mattress on the floor, worked days, studied nights. I poured everything into one thing. I had always loved innovation. Ideas my father once dismissed as unrealistic. Concepts, he said, I wasn't mentally strong enough to finish. Funny how clarity comes when control disappears. I stopped trying to prove I was sane. I started proving I was capable. For a year, I lived like a ghost. No awards, no applause, just discipline. While my parents attended charity galas, telling people how brave they were for supporting their unstable son, I smiled when I heard they were funding my freedom with their lies. The breakthrough came quietly, a prototype that worked, then a second, then investors, small ones, cautious ones, who cared more about results than rumors. They didn't Google my family. They looked at my work. One night, an email arrived, nomination confirmed, a National Innovation Award, televised, live. I stared at the screen for a long time, not because I was excited, because I knew my parents would be watching. I didn't tell anyone, not my old friends, not my relatives. I wanted the truth to hit them the same way their lies hit me, publicly, without warning. A producer called to confirm details. "Ethan Miller, are you ready to share your story?" I almost laughed. If only he knew. Back home, my parents were planning a charity event. My mother mentioned my name casually. "He's still not well," she said. "But we pray for him." My father nodded. They believed the story had settled. They believed silence meant defeat. They were about to learn something important. Silence can be preparation. The broadcast date was set, prime time, millions watching. And for the first time in years, I looked in the mirror and saw someone calm, not broken, not unstable. The night of the broadcast, I wore a simple suit, no flashy watch, no expensive badge. I didn't want to look powerful. I wanted to look real. Back home, my parents sat comfortably in their living room. They loved award shows, especially the kind that celebrated mental health awareness. The irony was poetic. My mother clapped politely at speeches. My father scrolled his phone. Then the host announced the next category, A pause. A smile. And the National Innovation Award goes to... My heart slowed. Not raced. Slowed. Ethan Miller. My father froze. The phone slipped from his hand. My mother's smile cracked just for a second, but that second was enough. They hadn't seen my face in over a year, and now it was filling the screen. The camera followed me walking onto the stage. Calm. Steady. Not unstable. Applause roared. I stood under the lights and looked straight into the camera. I knew exactly where they were sitting. I want to thank everyone who believed in my work, I said. My voice didn't shake. But more importantly, I want to thank everyone who didn't. A ripple moved through the audience. There was a time when silence was mistaken for weakness, I continued. When independence was labeled instability. The camera cut briefly to the crowd, then back to me. Tonight isn't about proving anyone wrong, I said. It's about proving that truth doesn't need permission. Back in that living room, no one spoke. My father's jaw tightened. My mother whispered my name like a prayer. I didn't mention them directly. I didn't have to. Everyone who mattered understood. After the show, my phone exploded. Message, calls, apologies. People who once avoided me suddenly remembered my number. Funny how sanity returns when success does. Then came the message I expected most. From my father, just 4 words. We need to talk. I smiled, not out of victory, but out of certainty, because the conversation was no longer in his control. I didn't reply to my father's message, not immediately. Power doesn't rush. The next morning, headlines were everywhere. Rising Innovator. Ethan Miller wins National Award. From silence to spotlight, but one line stood out. Miller family distances themselves from award winner. They were still trying to control the narrative. Still trying to protect their image. My mother finally called. Her voice was soft. Careful. Ethan, we were worried about you. We always were. I let the silence sit. Then I said calmly, you told people I was unstable. She inhaled sharply. That's not what we meant. It's what you said. That night, I agreed to meet my father. Neutral ground, public place, witnesses. He looked older. Smaller. The man who once controlled rooms now struggled to control his tone. You embarrassed us, he said. I almost laughed. You erased me, I replied. He leaned forward. You don't understand what it's like to manage reputation. I finally met his eyes. You don't understand what it's like to survive without one. He offered excuses. Fear, pressure, love, all dressed up as concern. None of it sounded convincing anymore. A week later, something unexpected happened. A former colleague of my father reached out. Then another. Then another. They had seen the broadcast, and suddenly, they were talking. Emails leaked. Recordings surfaced. Proof that the unstable label had been used strategically. To remove me. To silence me. To protect power. The public mood shifted. Quietly at first, then loudly. My parents issued a statement. Carefully worded. Cold. But it was too late. Once a lie is exposed under light, it can't crawl back into the dark. For the first time, they were the ones being questioned, and I was finally being heard. The award wasn't the end. It was the beginning. A month later, I was invited back, this time as a speaker. Same network, live audience, no script, just truth. My parents didn't attend. They couldn't. Every seat in that studio represented something they feared now public memory. I stood under the lights again, calmer than before. I was once described as mentally unstable, I said. Not by strangers, by my own family. No gasps, no shock, just silence. The kind that listens. I didn't fight back, I continued. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I paused. I worked. I talked about isolation, about identity being taken away politely, about how easy it is to destroy someone without touching them. When the segment ended, the applause wasn't loud. It was heavy. Later that night, my father called. His voice was different, not angry, not commanding. Small. I didn't think it would go this far, he said. I answered honestly. Neither did I. I just didn't stop. I didn't forgive them. Not publicly, not privately. Some scars don't ask for closure. They ask for distance. Today, My parents are careful with their words because the world knows how easily they misuse them. And I'm no longer unstable. I'm untouchable.